So a couple weeks ago, a friend and I went to see an art museum, and we accidentally stumbled into a separate art exhibit that was actually in the process of being taken down for a new installation. But yet this accident led to this video in a roundabout way. Unfortunately, I forgot to take pictures or videos of these installations they had on display, but some of the sculptures they had really opened my eyes to the possibilities for my own creations. They irked and urged me to try out new methods, things like wood carving, the skull for the bottom of the sword, for example. I've never carved anything before, and while it's definitely not perfect by any means, that's perfectly alright with me. The same way that we were in grade school writing rough drafts, I had quite a few rough drafts of this carving, and in a way, this carving itself is a rough draft for hopefully future carvings that I decide to try. Now, how do inspiration and innovation play a part in this? For me, it's almost like a feedback loop. We get inspired by people or things such as works of art throughout our lifetimes. And when you can hone in on these types of inspiration and reflect on the parts that truly stick out to you, you can make adjustments to your own work and try and experiment with new methods or new ways of trying to go about solving a problem or creating something. And that's where innovation comes in. Whenever you take this inspiration, distill it down to what's important to you, and take those pieces and you innovate on them by putting them in your own work in a way. And then the cycle continues, because hopefully you can put out your work out there, and then it might inspire somebody else to try something in their own unique way, with just a little bit of flavoring almost from your method of doing it. This also isn't limited to just artistic endeavors. For example, maybe somebody at your gym or your job does something in a way that impresses or inspires you. You know, you can take the time out of your day to talk to them and be honest with them about why you're inspired, and ask if they could teach you a little bit, and you can learn a lot more and grow together. And in the process of them teaching you or you teaching somebody else who's inspired by you, you learn more about your own method and how you can improve them. And by talking to and learning from these people within our lives who inspire you, we can innovate and make the approach our own. We can cut out a lot of the extra work and learning that goes into the process by just learning from people who already have a lot of experience.
That's what that was. It's really that really fucked the blade. Whoops.
Granted, for you to get all the fine details down and the finesse that people who've been doing it for a long time have, it's going to take you quite a while too.
Yeah. That's not good for the blade. Whoops. Safety first, though.
But you can expedite your own learning process by learning from those around you, especially those who are good at what they're doing. By being inspired to work more efficiently like those around you and learning from them, you can expedite your own learning process. Possibly you could shave off days, weeks, or even months of trial and error simply by being inspired to do better and then innovate on it. The worst case is maybe it doesn't work for you in that way. So worst case, you talk to somebody who's inspired you and you try out their method, whatever endeavor it is, and let's say it doesn't work. Okay, well, instead of letting that drag you down a lot, I think taking it in stride and taking the pieces that we can from it and putting it into our own toolkits for life allows us to grow as individuals a lot further and widen our skill sets so that we can take them with us in the future and be of more value. I think one of the biggest things for me is honestly just being curious, because like with my new job, you know, I've never worked in food services before, and I'm a little intimidated going into it, especially with how chaotic it's been a couple days. And honestly, it's been pretty smooth sailing. I've learned a lot from a lot of different people, and no, not everybody does everything the same way, and it doesn't mean that anybody's inherently wrong or right in the way that they're doing it. It's just way that they've learned and the way they feel comfortable. And I'm learning my own way as well. And I'm learning from all these people, and I'm taking bits and pieces from each of them, and learning to have my own personal toolkit for working in food services and working in the deli. And I mean, it's not my dream job by any means personally, but for the time being, I do enjoy it quite a bit, and it's been a fun learning curve, and it's been fun to try out something new for sure. I think that's been probably one of my biggest lessons, like throughout life until this point, is honestly just don't be afraid to ask questions. Because if you're like genuinely curious, most of the time people don't mind taking time of day to explain to you and show you how something's done. Especially if like you actually give them the time of day while they're explaining it, and make sure that you're clarifying any miscommunications or any instances where you might be confused. It's going to make everything around you really move smoother, and whatever working environment you're in, the more you understand and can help out wherever's needed, or possibly train other new people in the future. It just makes the whole operation run smoother, and it doesn't mean that it has to be something that you enjoy doing that much or want to do for the rest of your life, but trying to uphold yourself to a level of proficiency in the things that you do, and a quality of work, no matter where you're at, I think truly will benefit you more in the long run, as opposed to just half-assing a job just because you don't enjoy what you're doing at the time.
Yeah, I didn't really expect that one. I mean, a little bit, but yeah, we gotta fix that now. It'll go back on, but I need something else to like reinforce this. Because if not, it's just going to slide right back off the dowels again. And this is not supposed to be like a ranged weapon, so yeah.